Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jihad Mahamdi with you. I am a public speaking coach and I teach introverts specifically. I teach them in the professional world and in everyday life, meaning socializing, etc. But today I'm going to talk about networking, about the professional world. Just to introduce myself even a bit more, I'm a public speaker. I learned these communication techniques for over a decade, since 2011. And when I started, I couldn't even talk to my own family, to my own grandmother. It was very difficult for me. It was a big deal. And now that I learned these techniques, I want to teach them to people. Okay? So a huge challenge of introverts when it comes to the professional world is networking. Networking is very important. It can take up until 50%, if not more, of the profession, of the success, of the professional success. You cannot succeed alone. If you think you are going to succeed alone, if you think you are able to succeed alone, that is wrong. You are dead wrong. Okay? So here is what I'm about to teach you today. I'm going to teach you how to network as an introvert without exerting too much of your energy, without hurting yourself in the process. Because us introverts, if we force ourselves to do certain things, that may hurt us. It doesn't mean we shouldn't get out of our comfort zone, but we should be smart about it to preserve our energy and to get back and then recharge. Okay? So here is the thing. Networking as an introvert. The first thing we can do as introverts, we don't like talking a lot. We don't, especially in front of people. I don't like talking a lot in front of people because, I do not necessarily agree with what people say, and I do not necessarily find myself at ease with most people. But sometimes you have to talk, you have to have good manners, and you have to expose yourself. The first thing is asking questions and the ego. When you ask someone questions, deeper and deeper questions, you ask more questions of what they do, what they like to do, what they like to eat, what do they hate. Because sometimes when you talk about when you let someone vent or rant about something, that means you are being a container, you are allowing them to be themselves and express themselves, and they feel validated. And that is how you can win that person. And when they talk about something they love, this is ego things, like you are telling them. The other day I met this musician guy here in Istanbul, in Turkey. He told me that he makes music, and then we were in a cafe where you can do karaoke and that, and then he started playing his music. He said, listen to it. And instead of me just not listening to it, I listened to it and I kept asking him questions. How did you write the song? Tell me. And this is where we go to intrigue and ego. It feeds the ego of the person. And the ego is not inherently, and this doesn't have to be a negative thing, as opposed to what people think nowadays. The ego, oh, I am free of the ego, look at me, I'm spirituality 2.0 bollocks, man. I hate that. I used to be into that, but now I'm off of it, thank God. Anyway, so ask questions, ego, all right? Now, intrigue, okay? When you add intrigue into your questions, into the way you ask someone questions, you don't have to speak a lot. You are allowing them to fill in the blanks of the conversation. And you, as an introvert, you'll just be there, just listen, and you don't have to exert energy, okay? That's a strategic way to go about networking. Details. You go about the details, you ask about the details. How did you write it? When was it did you write it? At what time do you usually write the song? What do you think when you write about that song? And then we go into emotions. How do you feel when you write this song? What does this song make you feel like? What is this topic about? What is the sentiment that you got that day when you wrote it? And this will help you give the people the chance to talk, because nobody gives a shit about other people nowadays. They just like talking about themselves. They're They don't care about other people. When in reality, this is how the best, like the leaders of conversations are the ones who ask the good questions and who give intrigue and give interest to other people in the group, okay? So imagine someone asking you things about yourself. You'd be like, damn, nobody asked me about my hobby. Let me talk about my hobby today because I feel good, you know? This is really important. Now, eye contact. Eye contact with people allows you to be able to relate and connect with the people because it shows your real intentions and you understand people's real intentions. It's an instinctive thing. I'm not going to explain it further, but it's an instinctive thing because the eyes show everything. Alexander Lowen in his book, The Language of the Body, said that the last point of energy projection is the eyes. The energy is seen from the eyes. You can understand it from the eyes. And that is very powerful. When you do, for example, give a handshake and look in the eyes of the person, and you'd be like, hello, how are you, man? You're good? Thank you. Well, my pleasure, my friend, my pleasure. You will be able to create such an aura of confidence and of interest in people, because that is very respectful too when you do eye contact with someone. So we have figure out the blueprint. When you ask those questions, when you're talking to someone who's important, you want to network with, someone maybe, for example, this friend of mine that I knew, the musician, I will be able to connect him with other people who have the same interests with other musicians, etc. And this is his blueprint. What is he about? What does he like to do? What is his hobby? You know, and once you understand that, you will hammer down on that. You will keep talking about that whenever you're with that person. And that way, the person will like you, will be able to do business with you. He will feel at ease with you, etc. Many things come with that, all right? And then, after you understand the blueprint, you have to be polarizing. Now comes the time where you express yourself, where you are yourself. Meaning you can disagree on stuff in a respectful way, and people will respect you on that because you allowed them to say what they wanted to say. And you say, okay, yeah, I disagree with this, man. I believe this, and that. I think I don't like this thing. And you show a bit of spice in your personality. You don't necessarily have to talk all the time, but when you talk, you can show intensity. It can be a moving force for you. Okay? So yeah, basically this is how you can network. This is what I do to network, and I'm damn well good at networking when I want to do it. There are times that I don't give a shit about networking, do I? I'm like, yeah, I'm tired, I'm not gonna network. But most of the time I'm like, yeah, let's network, let's get the people with whom I am comfortable with. Yeah? So yeah, that's important, very important. You have to put it in mind. If you like my video, give it a like. If you have questions or suggestions for video ideas, for content, I am here to help you. So please, help me help you. Write comments, and also, if you think there's someone who can benefit from what I'm talking about, send them the video. All right? So this has been Jihad Mahamdi with you. Thank you so much. Cheers.